gentlemen, happy Thursday. It's the January 2nd. You know, everyone, happy New Year, 1st of January, 1st of the year. Second day of the year never gets enough credit. I like to consider myself like the January 2nd of people.
I'm like the January 13th.
January 13th?
Just like
any other day?
Just another day in the life.
I guess that's true. I consider myself like close to like being special.
Yeah, I wouldn't see that. That's the thing. I don't even associate myself with special.
No,
I'm just mediocre to the core.
That's shoot for the stars and you might land amongst the moon or whatever. Shoot for the moon, you might land amongst the stars. You're just shooting.
Shoot for the stars, end up on the couch.
There you go. I mean, I'll end up on the couch all day, man. That's what I was doing
somehow
last night.
There's always a common denominator.
What,
and
you and the couch?
And that's the futon.
Futon. Is this what you got going on at the old, I was going to dox you over there. You got futon these days?
Yeah, we made, my couch made the transition from being a standalone futon / couch to a full-time futon. I've decided it will no longer be operating as any sort of couch.
How do you make that transition?
Well, it's one of those ones you buy at Walmart for like $129, and it folds up and then it folds down. So
you're just folding it down.
Getting it to
saying?
stay folded up was becoming a real hassle because it would slowly slide off the wall every time I put my feet up. So the back of it would come off the wall. So then the upright part of the couch would then unexpectedly snap back while I'm playing college football or watching TV. So I decided, all right, no more of this. I'm going to lay it down flat. I'm going to get one of these really, really big, human-sized pillows to brace against my back so I can still sit upright against the wall.
I got to see a picture of this.
And then I put a pillow on top of that for my head.
Do you have a picture of it?
I don't because I live alone. So it's not like someone could take a picture of me
I wanted to see your setup, though.
I'll send a picture of the setup.
Because when you were explaining it, I was imagining you just straight
No.
down.
I don't sit back and stare directly at the ceiling for 14 hours a day.
Can't wait to watch football this weekend.
I put my TV on my ceiling. No.
Yeah.
I have a nice. I've manipulated the setup to be able to still sit up properly while also still being able to keep my feet up at the same time. Because then I have an ottoman that instead of letting it sit in a horizontal way in front of the couch, I let it sit the long way vertically in front.
Why?
So that I could extend my legs farther out.
You've got it figured out, man.
You know what?
Really have got it all figured out.
When you sit in that apartment for 2.5 months, you really get good at watching sports and playing college football.
Yeah, no, we've all been there. I think a lot of us young lads in today's age.
The bachelor life is treating you well, I'll tell you something.
We've all been there. And you know what? I got nothing bad to say about it. I'm weirdly jealous of you. That sounds like...
There's certain
What are you eating? What are you eating also? Let me set the picture.
That hasn't changed.
Popcorn or no? You ever get popcorn going on?
Not a popcorn guy.
Not
if
popcorn.
I had a go-to snack, it would probably just be Cheerios, honestly.
Cheerios?
Yeah, I like apple cinnamon Cheerios.
Cheerios?
Yeah, I love them. Or my ice cream.
I knew the ice cream. I just is there anyone out there respectfully who just snacks on Cheerios over the age of 5?
No,
I'm not trying to call you a child. I'm just saying
I am a child.
No, that's I'm being a dead horse there if I am. I'm just saying it just baffles me that Cheerios is the go-to. Cheez-Its.
I'll be honest. I'm not really
goldfish.
Some goldfish. I like goldfish.
Okay.
Some potato chips, Doritos.
It's just the fact that your go-to is Cheerios.
Yeah,
man.
to be completely honest, I'm not a big snacker.
Okay.
But Cheerios or Doritos or goldfish, mostly Cheerios.
Okay. Well, anyways, man, good morning to you.
Good morning to you. It's been a while since I've been on
It's been a while,
Slab.
dude. I miss you, man. I miss you in general.
It's good to be here.
We got 417. That's so 417 immediately chimes in. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, but they're apple cinnamon. So they got more flavor.
Only because I have a ton because of my 5-year-old. That is the only demographic. And you know what? Shout out to Aaron. Maybe you're preparing for fatherhood. You've already moved on. You skipped 20 years of your middling.
Dude, I went straight from 22 to 42.
No, I'm saying you went from 5 to 42 here.
Oh no,
that's where we're going.
I went from 22 to 42. I'm just ready to raise a child.
Well, maybe you can raise me, man, because Cassie's been away. You should see the crap I'm eating.
Dude, I'm struggling to raise myself.
I know, me too. Because last night I got home, so when I order food when I'm alone, I'll get food for 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
Because I'm all right, I'm making one trip, I'm spending money, so I go to Taco Bell, I get $15 worth of Taco Bell. I get 4 or 5 different things, and I don't eat it all in one night, but yesterday I was left with just one lone $2 burrito.
Oy.
I was eating it, and I'm
This
man,
isn't doing it for
I'm
me.
still hungry. I'm let me go to Aldi, let me get some stuff. closed on January 1st.
Yeah,
Do you know what it's like to like put clothes back on after a day of work? You're watching football and you're like, this Oregon game's not good. I'm gonna go to Aldi, try to get some food.
You feel like you're so proud of yourself.
I know. I was like, you know what? You're an adult, dude. Go get some food. Go make yourself something.
I can leave this game for 12 minutes.
Yes.
I can do this.
And you get there and you see the empty parking lot, and I'm like, man.
And there's no. You're like, this is the worst decision I've ever made.
Yep. And then there you go. I ended up eating nothing. I had like salt and vinegar chips. That was my second dinner last night.
You eat air and water for dinner after that.
So yeah, man, there you go.
You have mouthwash for dinner.
That's exactly what I did. I'm like, I should go to bed. I'll sleep for dinner. It's delicious.
I'm gonna sleep this one. I'm gonna sleep the hunger off tonight.
And you know what? I didn't have breakfast today, and I'm hungry, man. I'm gonna have to rummage through the Cheez-It cabinet right now.
I had some grapes and Cheerios this morning.
When'd you have that? At 7:10 a.m.
Like
5 minutes after you woke up?
No. I mean, I had to leave the house at 6:40.
Sure.
Well, I mean, I live a half hour away, so to get here at 7:15.
Me too, buddy. Guess who was here at 6:50? I don't know.
6:50. Well, that just seems like overkill.
It was a little overkill. But you know what? I had a lot of time to sleep last night because of those college football playoff game, Aaron.
Yeah.
Now we had one great one that started at 1 p.m. The one at 4:30 p.m. was terrible. And I will say,
disappointing on so many levels. One, financially. Two, just as a fan. Yeah.
But we'll start with the good one. Let's start with the good one here. Arizona State and Texas. I got to give our guy Connie a lot of credit because he picked Arizona State for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yeah, I was thinking about him the whole time.
And said, well, you're thinking about him. I know you'd be thinking about him anyways. But, one guy only. And he looked at the camera and said, Cam Scatabo. That's me being Connie. That's how he said it. But that was a fantastic football game. I did not expect it.
That was so much fun.
It was genuinely one of the best football games I feel like I've ever seen. America, God's country, boys. Hell yeah, brother. There we go, Des Bryant. Good morning to you. America. That's an American game between Arizona State and all right.
If there's a program in America that screams patriotic, it's Arizona State.
Dude, Arizona State and Texas. This is America right there.
There's something about the modern America in Arizona State that all I could think about yesterday was the New Year's Day darties that would have been going on at Arizona State if they won that game. They would put Project X to shame that school yesterday. Oh, I'm almost upset it didn't happen. I mean, I'm sure Texas knows how to celebrate a win as well. I'm sure they don't suck too bad, but dude, Arizona State, that would have been nuts.
I tell you what, there's some warm weather. Cam Scatabo is going to be having a good time when he comes back on campus, win or loss.
But I'm sure he wanted to.
No, there's no doubt. He was broken up. The guy was puking his guts out on the sideline and still lowering the shoulder for some big touchdowns.
What's not to love?
What's not to love, man? Guy transfers from Sacramento State to Arizona State.
National powerhouse.
Right. I mean, Sacramento State, when you think of good college football, you're thinking of Sacramento State,
First,
I know.
You got Bear Bryant in Alabama. You've got Joe Burrow with those LSU teams, and you've got Cam Scatabo with Sacramento State.
So I was looking at mock drafts yesterday because I'm thinking, wow, Cam Scatabo, he was fantastic all season, some NFL teams. Where is Cam Scatabo going to go? Mm-hmm. A lot of mock drafts have him like 4th round, 5th round picks here, Aaron.
Yeah.
Do you think anyone kind of changes their opinion on that, or is he going to stay that way?
No, and I'll start this by saying that I'm anti-drafting a running back to begin with.
I shouldn't have asked you this. I knew this.
I am the wrong person for this question.
417's right, by the way. Forks up. Got to be prideful after that one.
So I'm anti-running back as is. So, for me, I don't think the first running back should really come off the board until the 3rd round of the draft anyway. Generally speaking. I mean, Genty's probably the exception here. Mm-hmm. But even he got bottled up by Penn State.
Yeah, it was concerning.
Scatabo looked better against Texas than Genty did against Penn State. And a large part of that is due to the Arizona State offensive line being superior to the Boise State offensive line. But that being said, no, I don't think it would change anything because the fact of the matter is he's going to go to the combine, probably not going to knock your socks off with his 40 time or his first 3-cone drill or anything of the sort. That being said, I think he still has the makings to be a really solid NFL running back. But that's where I think really solid NFL running back should go in the draft. I think really solid
4th,
NFL
5th
running
round
back
kind
should
of guy
go in the 4th round.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's a knock on Scatabo. I don't think that's a knock on this draft class's running backs. I just think when you look at the value of running backs across the NFL, I mean, I know that the 49ers didn't have a great season, but the production that guys were having.
Isaac Guarendo and Jordan Mason.
And Jordan Mason having success in that system. The lack of success that Breece Hall had in the Jets system this year. It doesn't necessarily mean because you're the fastest, biggest, best running back that you're going to succeed, and you don't necessarily need that. So Scadaboo in the 4th round could be a guy who runs for 1,400 yards a year in the NFL, but I think that's a fine spot for him to go still.
Mally chimes in. Good morning to you, Mally. Happy January 2nd. He says Scadaboo was better against better competition than Ginty, though.
I think that Texas's defensive line is better than Penn State's defensive line.
I think they're equal,
but I think that the discrepancy between the Penn State defensive line and the Texas defensive line is smaller than the discrepancy between the Arizona State offensive line and the Boise State offensive line.
So, I think that's a fair point, but I think ultimately to what Mally's saying is there's a big difference between a Mountain West schedule and a Big 12 schedule.
Oh, I thought Mally was simply referring
I don't know. I'm taking it like a step further.
To the college football playoff.
I'm taking it a step further, all season long.
If Mally's referring to just the college football playoff, then that's my response to that.
Yeah.
If he's talking about the season as a whole, then I totally agree.
Yeah. I think the bottom line is this. I'm anti-combine. I don't know how you guys feel. Anyone can look great at the combine. John Ross is always the name that comes to mind. Anthony Richardson is another, where Anthony Richardson, people were saying he had one of the greatest combines of all time, but go look at Anthony Richardson at Florida. His tape, his stats.
Zach Wilson's pro day.
There you go. So many times these guys have combines. And, look, a lot of times I'm wrong about that. There's a lot of guys who they don't get to show their skills as much in college for whatever reason. They have a fantastic combine, and they are good NFL players.
But you usually talk about the guys who weren't huge, that have huge combines.
I always prefer guys who produce in college.
Agreed.
Kyle Hamilton's an example that comes to mind, who had a terrible combine.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to go top 5, top 10, fell all the way to the Ravens. Kyle Hamilton's an absolute stud. So, listen, I think Mally makes a very good point. I think it would be worth it to take a flyer on Cam Scadaboo, but yeah, I hate to agree with you, Aaron. I was hoping I would come in here today and be like, Cam Scadaboo, baby, 2nd round pick. He's going to be a game changer. I think he'll be a good player in the NFL. I could see him almost being sort of like a Tank Bigsby kind of guy, where he's a guy that it takes a year or two, powerful, can be a secondary running back, but also score some touchdowns, make some big plays.
Well, the only thing I'd say about that is that a guy like Scadaboo does just the way in which he was used in their offense is that he had to carry the ball a ton of times. So generally speaking, his mileage when he gets to the NFL is going to be a little lower than what someone else entering the NFLs would be at. So the only thing I would respond to that is that if I'm taking Cam Scadaboo in the draft, right, I'm using a pick on him. Let's just say for conversation's sake, 4th rounder.
Yeah, that seems fair.
That's where I think you take him in the 4th round. I think he's a great value. I think it's a good
You see Mally's comment right there? I love that.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Peyton Hillis 1 year in the Browns.
It's the perfect comparison.
Yeah, I think the difference would be he'd be Peyton Hillis for maybe 3 years.
Yeah.
But never as good as the ceiling as Peyton Hillis.
You're hoping for Peyton Hillis on a rookie contract.
I love that, Mally.
You're hoping for Peyton Hillis on a rookie contract.
And Mally, good luck to your kid on the old travel team. I was a lifelong B teamer, by the way.
In soccer, I was also a solid B team player.
Good enough to raise higher than just the in-house league, but never quite good enough to be on the cream of the crop. So you know what? Maybe your kid could also host Talkin Slab one day, but let's keep the MLS dreams a little lower. Who knows, O'Malley? Maybe you could send us the huddle, and we can start getting some.
I'd be happy to do some film study for you.
Let's get a little Tops Now Mally's kid kind of card over here. Get him young.
First goal of 2025.
You can handle it fast, but no scoring. Mally, you gotta take him to the training ground because it's all about the scoring.
We gotta lean back. We gotta lean back when we strike the ball, Mally.
Hit it with the the lace of your boot.
You gotta get the laces on it. Lean
Project Mbappe, Project Mally. That's what we're working on. Come on, it's 4:30 in the morning. Wake up! Let's go.
Morning.
Let's get some shooting going on. More proud than dribble further than 5 feet. Fair enough. I was always playing soccer growing up, Aaron. For me, it was always either I'm in net or I'm in striker. None of this running around midfield or crap.
I was always the center mid.
It's a thankless position.
Dude, I just had so much energy, which is back and forth.
All right, fair enough. I had energy too, but I want to use my energy on scoring goals or stopping goals.
Oh, no, see, I wasn't a good scorer, though, but I could run. I was fast. Before people's legs started growing, I was fast.
Kids today can't dribble, no fundamentals. They just want to kick. It's like Steph Curry in basketball.
What happened to the mid-range, Mally?
Yeah. What about the Evan Turners of the world? Yeah. We got to go back to
DeMar
fundamentals.
DeRozan, the mid-range game is dead.
Yeah, dude, DeMar DeRozan, we can do a whole different debate on DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan, he's just like, his player doesn't exist anymore. Like, that guy the AAU basketball, like, he's the opposite of everything there.
Yeah.
We'll put a pin in that.
Aside from the lack of defense.
We'll put a pin in that. But at least he's tough. Anyways, the Arizona State-Texas game, the big conversation from this game, I think you've heard about it being online, targeting, man. All this talk about targeting. And before we talk about it, Aaron, you mind pulling up that video, Ben? I sent it to you on Twitter over here. Let's take one more look. Let's take one more look again. I feel bad for that poor kid in Arizona State who's got a concussion now for it. Don't get me wrong. But the big discussion here was targeting in this game. How much this game had an impact. The refs reviewed it, said there was no targeting on the play. This is the clip again, a couple times over. All right, so coming on in. It's so quick. It's bang, bang. There's no debating. It's helmet to helmet. Now, Eric, correct me if I'm wrong. This was what, 45 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
This would have put...
So this catch right here makes it 4th and 5 around midfield.
Okay. So this would make it around 35-yard line, 1st and 10 with 40 seconds to go.
Yeah, so they would have 1st and 10 around the 35.
Yeah, that's right at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, so they would have 1st and 10 at the 35 with about 40 seconds left.
Right.
You figure, I believe they still had one timeout at the time, too. So they'd probably run the ball up the middle 2 or 3 times.
I'll disagree with you there for one reason. I was listening to the broadcast.
Because of the lack of kicker.
Arizona State was on their 3rd-string kicker. Yeah. His longest kick, I want to say, was a 39-yard kick.
They probably would have tried to run to about the 20.
Okay.
I think they would have tried, because I think the defense of Texas was still going to sag off a bit with the one timeout, and they were going to try to guard the perimeter and stop the out-of-bounds pass. Right. So my first thing, if I had the ball in the 35, would have been to run the football.
Okay. That's fair enough. Please let us know, guys. I know this has been a huge debate on Twitter.
I'm just going to point out one thing here.
Okay.
If you watch the video, I want you to watch the Texas defender's helmet dip right before contact.
All right, his
head is up.
Go Birds,
and then his head dips right here on the point of contact.
See, I actually, and I hate to say this, because I want Arizona State to win this game, and, I don't like agreeing with refs, but I'll be honest, I'm happy they didn't call targeting. Now, here's the deal.
Me too.
If they had called this targeting, right? Like, you watch this here. Bang, that's helmet to helmet. So that typically gets called targeting. But let me just finish this here. I don't know what you want 16 to do. Does he dip his helmet? Sure, I guess. But to me, all he's doing is going in to make a great form tackle in a huge moment of a playoff game. This is football, right? And I'm not Mr. Tough Guy typically. I just think in a moment like this, if the ref pulls his flag right there and calls it targeting, and you review it and you stick with the call, I have no problem with that. But the fact that they didn't call it targeting on the field, I think it would have been a travesty to end Texas's season on a review, on a bang-bang play. I just don't know what you want the defensive back to do.
So I texted my friends right after it happened, and I think my exact text read, glad they didn't call it.
Yeah.
Don't know how they didn't call it.
And I think that's fair. I understand people's outrage. If I'm Arizona State, I'm outraged.
I'm glad that the game did not come down to that.
That's exactly what Cook said.
I did not want such a great game to come down to that, because the fact of the matter is that most people, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say most people in America don't love the current targeting rule.
You shouldn't. I don't think you should either.
Now, I'm also not going to go out here and say that this is something wrong from the NCAA, because these are this is going to sound crazy for me to say. These kids are younger than me at 22 years old.
Well, not all.
So I don't. Yeah,
with all the eligibility now.
Scadaboos 35.
Yeah. So it's Quinn Ewers, I think.
Yeah, he just turned 40. I heard. No one wants to see these kids get hurt.
Absolutely not. Right. No, you're right.
I've got a younger brother who's now 18. He's a freshman in college. I mean, these kids are closer to his age than they are to mine.
Right.
I don't want them to get hurt. The safety of the players is absolutely, for young kids, the most important thing. I don't know how you go forward with targeting if that is not targeting. So this is such a weird thing for me, because like I said, I'm glad they didn't call it. I had money on Arizona State, and I'm glad they did not call it. Because that game deserved a way better ending. That game deserved...
And we got it better.
We got the Arizona State. If you ask their head coach, I guarantee you he would say, deep down, granted, he wanted to win the game.
Sure.
He didn't want to win off a targeting call.
No, 100%.
That game deserved overtime.
And you know
because that play, that hit did not change the script of the game at all. you know what? That play had no business ever being a first down.
Cook says, I think it was targeting because he still led with his helmet.
It was also a defenseless receiver. And that's the big thing. That's the big part of it. Here's
the other thing. Let's context is key here. There was a missed targeting call on the drive before that against Arizona State.
Yep.
So I do wonder if there is. I thought the one on Arizona State was more of a targeting than this. Arizona State, I felt like it was heat seeking. This to me was a bang bang play. I just don't know what you want the defender to do, is my only rebuttal to that.
The thing I would say about the defender, as we're still watching the clip here.
Right. He just goes straight on. Is he supposed to go lower?
So the contact comes in the first point of contact is with his helmet.
But I just don't know. Like, I just think it was such an unfortunate circumstance.
The first point of contact.
Cook says you can drop a shoulder.
That's what I was going to say.
But let's say you drop a shoulder.
If Cook
receiver bounces off, now he breaks a big play.
But if I'm saying if the shoulder goes into the chest on a defenseless receiver,
and we're watching this in slow motion,
it's not a penalty. I'm not blaming the referees at all.
Bam! There is no time in between catch and tackle.
And I'm very glad that they did not throw a flag on the play and that they reviewed it, because you can still decide to call it. Yes. Whereas it's a lot harder to reverse it if they called it on the field and then make it. If that was called targeting on the field, that's not getting reversed.
All right, Ben. Thank you for running that clip. Yeah, I think we're all seeing eye to eye on this one, because Cook, I agree with you ultimately. If they had thrown a flag, called that targeting, right, and they had not reversed it, I would say, okay, that's fine, that's the right call. But I think the outrage might have been even worse had Texas lost and that been called a targeting.
It would have been worse.
And let's not act like Arizona State lost the game as a direct result.
No.
Arizona State had multiple opportunities to win that football game.
They had two chances.
And you know what? I give their head coach credit, because the head coach stayed on the field afterward and talked and talked and talked. And to be honest with you, I think that was the head coach stalling to make a decision on 4th and 5 at midfield. Because he talked with their officials for 2 or 3 minutes after that call was made. Never got too angry.
It was also to get Scadaboo rest. Yeah. Because he was violently ill on the sideline.
Dude, look, that was one of the best games I've ever seen.
Yeah. Dude, I loved every second of it. It's a shame, frankly, that we've had one good college football game out of the first 7 playoff.
I was doing the math. I want to say now,
1 for 7.
After that Oregon-Ohio State game, 18 of 37 college football playoff games of all time now have been decided by 20 points or more.
Really?
Yes.
So
18 of 37
I was just looking
games.
at the scope of reference for this year.
Yeah.
So that's a really interesting stat. Because I think, now, I don't know, I don't want to say the 20-point threshold, because like the Indiana Notre Dame game was a 10-point game.
Yes, it should not have been.
Game was not a 10-point
It would be interesting to look at games that have been decided by 2 touchdowns or more. Maybe I'll look at that tomorrow.
Games that were separated by 2 possessions with 5 minutes to go.
Yes. I like that. I like that.
Because that's like, all right, like, I don't like, if you make it 7 with 42 seconds,
you might cover the spread, but it was no onside
kick. You never had a chance. Like.
So, kind of on that topic, this is what I had thinking leaving that game, because this was a game, the point spread was 12.5. I was making fun of Conlon all week. You picked Arizona State. What the hell are you talking about? It was, good pick. It's a good pick. Does this kind of give you hope? If you're the college football playoff committee, are you kind of like, you see that game and you're like, oh, thank God. You know what I mean? Because they've been getting bashed, not just for...
Massive sigh of relief.
For the buys. Like, a lot of my buddies were texting saying, how the hell did Arizona State get a buy? You know what I mean? Like, how did Boise State get a buy? Like, that part of it is ridiculous.
Massive sigh of relief.
So do you think we could see college football playoff? This gave me March Madness vibes, honestly. In the sense that... this was a 12 versus 5 seed sort of matchup. Like an 11 seed.
It felt like an Elite 8 game.
Right. Where it's like, here's this team that a lot of people didn't pick, to go far. They got this scrappy point guard that the few ball knowers know about, carrying them.
Scadaboo, you remember the good Wisconsin teams of 2014?
I know what you're talking about.
Sam Decker.
Okay. Yeah.
Cam Scadaboo is the Bronson Koenig of college football.
Wow, Bronson Koenig. Dude, that guy was a stud. Bronson Madness.
Never played a minute in the NFL, but man, was that guy a heady point guard in college.
That's awesome. I love that.
I loved Bronson Koenig.
So that gives me hope. I'm glad we're on the same page there. That gives me hope because, look, it's imperfect. I'm sure they're going to change a couple things about the playoff, but it's been getting bashed deservedly so. This game yesterday was like, phew, all right, we can get good football.
It's also just that game was huge for the Big 12.
Yeah, and I think that game's huge for Arizona State.
Obviously huge for
We
Arizona
played a
State.
clip of Scadabo yesterday.
Also, I just have something I want to put on the record.
Oh boy.
So this is a big moment for
What do
me.
we got, Aaron?
I'm actually very excited I'm here today for this one reason. I sent a text to my dad yesterday because I wanted it on the record.
D-Rodad, friend of the show.
Yeah, D-Rodad did not want to wake up early enough for Talkin Slab this morning.
A lot of people don't.
I sent him a text. I said 7:15. He said, "Oh boy, I'll be up at 9."
So my dad said too. We got Mally supporting us, but not our fathers.
Yeah,
there you go. Thanks, Mally.
Mally, you're not my dad. I'm saying this once.
Oh boy.
I found the next quarterback of the New York Jets.
Is this Sam Levitt?
It's Sam Levitt.
So we played a clip yesterday. Sam Levitt said he's the better quarterback in this game. Quinn Ewers basically little bro to him. Sam Levitt looked like the better quarterback in that game yesterday, Aaron.
Sam Levitt's a redshirt freshman, Josh. And he looks that good.
Dude, Sam Levitt, I tell you what, I was talking about...
Also, sorry, I'm not...
No, you're good, you're good. No, you're on your run here.
This is just very important to me. That guy might be the best looking quarterback I've ever seen in my entire life. Dude, you're telling me that guy can't be an NFL New York quarterback? I mean, holy cow. That guy's like handsome Squidward combined with Hercules.
I was just about to say.
He can throw a bomb.
I was just about to say, you think Cam Scadable's going to have a good time going back to Arizona State?
God. Dude, that kid's 19.
Yep. Sam Levitt, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly no shortage of confidence over there.
What are they putting in the water where that kid's from? Holy cow, that might be the most handsome man I've ever seen in my life.
You just took your sweatshirt off.
Dude, he's getting me hot. He's getting me hot and bothered.
Are you
Sam Levitt, watching Sam Levitt play football gets me hot and bothered, Josh. Let me tell you something.
Good thing your dad's not awake.
No, because I texted my dad the same damn thing.
Oh, God.
I sent him a picture of Sam Levitt and everything. I was like, Dad, this is the next quarterback of the New York Jets.
That is, by the way, having a handsome quarterback in the Jets with that confidence, recipe for disaster.
Oh, yeah, Zach
Only
Wilson.
Joe
Zach
Namath.
Wilson?
No, dude, it's like,
Zach Wilson was so hot. But
yeah, that did not work out.
No, but in all seriousness, just from a football perspective, I'm absolutely in love with Sam Levitt. I said the jokes
from
aside,
the football perspective.
No, I'm dead serious.
I can't blame you, by the way.
I am absolutely in love because as a redshirt freshman, I've been Arizona State has gotten a lot of love over the last couple weeks, and Cam Scadabo gets a ton of it, and rightfully so. He's the best player. He's the most important player on that offense. Everything they do runs through Scadabo. This kid's mobility, the way he was dodging.
Yeah, you're right.
The way he was dodging some of the Thor's
fearless.
Jahdae Barron. I got excited. Jahdae Barron, the safety for Texas, was the Thorpe Award winner. It's the best safety in the country.
Yeah.
Plays a lot of middle linebacker for them as well.
Sure.
He was very often a spy on Levitt yesterday, if you were watching. Barron had a great game, but there were a couple plays where Levitt made Barron look plain stupid.
Yes.
In the pocket. He was jumping around. He's throwing on the run. He got rid of the ball. The most impressive thing to me yesterday was until the overtime interception.
You're right.
He took care of the ball.
And listen, now, I didn't even realize. I thought he was like a sophomore or junior, to be honest. I didn't realize he was a redshirt freshman until you brought that up. That throw to lose the game now makes a lot more sense because that was a throw that you see and you're like, brother, he was stuck on one read.
Yeah, but it was also, what was that? What down was that? Was that third down?
I think it was first or second down, honestly. I can be wrong. I can double check that. But I thought it was an early down. I didn't think it was like a do or die down.
I want to say it was third down.
Okay. Maybe
I'm
I'm
not
wrong.
going to say so.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not
I got
100%
you.
sure. Chat, if anyone wants to confirm that
Sam
for me.
Levitt, though. It's Levitt. It's not Levitt. It's Sam Levitt. That was a program-changing loss. It's rare you ever say that.
The only thing I'm hoping now, in all seriousness, is I don't... Because now from now on, I'm going to be watching this kid with a scouting eye.
I like that.
Because I'm legitimately interested in seeing what this kid does. He has my attention. The only thing I really don't want to see is I'm really hoping he doesn't transfer.
I don't think he will. I think
he
locking up the coach for 5 years, Lanning, which they did this week or something, that is kind of like a package deal.
I don't think he will either. I'm not saying that it's something I don't know. I'm not going to act like I know a ton about his situation, his recruiting, his relationship.
Valley just said, don't let Aaron do Bowman U breaks. Your Sam Levitt cards are going to go missing. That package might be a little, you know what? Never mind.
Family
on
show.
One. The way that Aaron's talking about
the reason I say that because I'm not going to act like I know the subject well. I'm just like, I would just wonder if like, some of these Power 4 teams now try to get their hands on him after seeing what he did.
Now, here's the thing though, with a loss like that, you now as Arizona State have an opportunity. This is not like some rinky-dink school. They got a lot of money, I imagine.
Oh, especially with the new coach.
You can inject yourself as a Power 4 type of school. And I think this is a trip with Colorado in that conference
they're
now.
the immediate, without even looking at the odds, I would have to assume they're going to be the early favorite to win the
now with Shedeur gone, absolutely.
But what I'm saying, the reason I say that is that I want to see him develop in the same system. I think it's very important. I think this is why we're seeing a lot of problems with quarterbacks in the NFL. I think Brady's the one who put this well. So as much as I hate Tom Brady, I'm kind of paraphrasing something he said here. So this isn't my own original thought. It's just something I agree with. The best NFL quarterbacks learn systems. The best NFL quarterbacks do not have turnover at offensive coordinator, at coach, because they're able to progress and grow in a system. You need to be able to grow into a system to get comfortable in it for multiple years. The best way to judge if a guy coming into the NFL is going to be able to grow once they enter the NFL is to see if they grew when they were in college.
That's
the best way to grow in college is to progress in one system. So this was Levitt's first time as a starter in a system.
That's kind of crazy.
Now he's going to get, now I want to see, all right, now you have this whole offseason. You have a whole offseason. You know you're the starter. Now you're on the NFL map. You're going to be you're running the same exact offense, except now next year, instead of it being Cam Scadabo's offense, it's your offense.
Yeah. Which is a little bit scary, though, in its own right. Interesting to see what he looks like when it's not Cam Scadabo's offense.
But I'm not saying that they have to change. Now, that doesn't mean they have to change what they run, though. Because they can still, I'm assuming whoever their running back is behind Scadabo for next year, whether it's someone from the transfer portal, if it's someone they have in the wings behind him, it's good. Schematically, it should be a similar fit. They're going to have someone who's a hard-nosed runner who can run the zone read, who can catch the ball out of the backfield.
Sure.
Because the coaching staff is not going to want to change the scheme around Levitt. They want to progress him forward in the scheme. So whether the personnel around him might change, but the actual schematic offense should stay the same, and that is a perfect way for NFL scouts.
You were really committed to Sam Levitt now. You still got to wait 2 years, you realize, with the Jets.
1 year.
1 year? Okay.
Since he's a redshirt sophomore, he's 3 years removed from high school.
Redshirt freshman or redshirt sophomore?
He's a redshirt freshman. Next year, he'd be a redshirt sophomore.
Okay.
3 years removed from high school, allowing him to be
You
eligible.
have really thought of it all for the Jets to get this guy.
But that being said, now I've made my bed with Levitt.
There you go.
Whoa.
I bet you wish you did.
Yeah. Levitt, I'm claiming him as my guy right now. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen. 99 times out of 100, it will not happen for me. I know that. I'm more so saying this because when he's good with someone else, I want to be right. But that is my biggest thing with all college quarterbacks.
So it's funny you mentioned that. You say all that, and then on the other side of the game yesterday, you had a quarterback who has done exactly what you're talking about. That's Quinn Ewers. And I'm not going to overreact. I'm not going to bury Quinn Ewers. He had a really great college career. I think he will be an NFL quarterback. I don't think he'll be a great NFL quarterback. But
Mac Jones.
Yeah, I would say worse, to be honest with you. I feel like Mac Jones at least had a great run. When I see Quinn Ewers, it's not a knock on him. I just don't see the second level. Like, I feel like there's not more to what Quinn Ewers has. Like he is developed to a certain point, and I don't really know how much more developing he's going to do.
That's an interesting point because he almost makes what I just said about Levitt look really dumb.
No, because I think you're right, though. I think Quinn Ewers
I'm not saying I changed my stance. I'm just saying that this is the worst possible, or not the worst possible, but one of the worst possible examples for what I just gave with Levitt.
I understand.
Because Ewers, on the other hand, has grown in a system. I mean, if you look, he had the statistics yesterday. He's basically third in every counting statistic in Texas history.
Sure.
So he's grown in the system. He's had a ton of starts. He's as experienced as they get. And he was the perfect recruit out of high school. He had a 1.0 rating on Max Preps when he committed to Ohio State a year early. So he was supposed to be this generational guy.
Yeah.
And everything that was generational about him was arm talent, big kid, can run, right? He's just a raw natural athlete, southern kid who's just going to sling it. And then he goes to Texas and you're like, all right, where Where are the massive
where is
throws?
it?
Where are the 70-yard bombs? Where's this arm talent? So the weird thing to me about Ewers is that he came out of high school as someone who was going to throw all these bombs, and now it's like what? He's kind of a game manager.
Yeah, and that's exactly how it feels.
Where did that
at a college level?
So now I'm not sure.
And look, he makes those plays. He'll make those throws. You see it.
You see it sometimes.
But all in all, it's not like I'm watching that game. Like you watched that game yesterday, and you're seeing Sam Levitt, like you're saying, evade the QB spy. You're like, dude, that's Jaden Daniels. That's right there. Some of these play makes that he's doing. Quinn Ewers is just very much like it's drop back pro style.
And now slant in there. I love a boring quarterback. There is nothing better than a boring quarterback, in my opinion.
Disagree, but all right.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Like Joe Burrow.
There's nothing boring about Joe Burrow.
There's nothing boring about watching him play. I'm not saying there is. But, like, Joe Burrow should be the quarterback that, like, Quinn Ewers is trying to replicate.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
A big guy, stand in the pocket, use my arm talent to do what I'm doing. Because coming into college, no one within a million miles of anything would say that Joe Burrow had more arm talent than Quinn Ewers. As recruits, as anything, going into college, freshman year, sophomore year, I mean, Burrow didn't even get his crack until he was a senior. Ewers was annoyed he didn't
start. The golden guy.
It was the golden boy. Was a backup at 17 at Ohio State, and was annoyed when they brought in CJ Stroud.
Right.
And was like, all right, I'm going to Texas. As an 18-year-old. And now you watch CJ Stroud in the NFL. So Ewers doesn't do it for me. Mm-hmm. And I guess that makes my point about Levitt not look so good. But I guess that's partially the reason why Ewers doesn't do it, I guess, because he hasn't gotten any better in the Texas system.
Yeah. So having said all that, Texas wins the game. We're talking about this like Texas lost the game. Texas does win the game. They win it with a couple nice throws from Ewers, honestly, to close that out.
Yeah, but that Texas game, the way Texas played, I don't think inspires you for their next.
And that's kind of exactly what I was going to ask. Do you think Texas is on shaky ground now? They're the only team out of every team that's won so far. Every team has done it looking like, damn, like Penn State, blowing them out. Boise State and SMU, inferior opponents. Ohio State, we'll touch on that game in just a second, but, I mean, that game was not a 20-point game. That was a 40-point game. Domination at its finest.
Oregon shouldn't have bothered showing up.
They should not have. Dylan Gabriel was too busy.
Oregon's Actually, I'll save this for when we're actually really
Okay, yeah. But Texas, do you think they're... because Texas, I think, were the second odds-on favorite, if not... No, they were the odds-on favorite going into this round of the college football playoff.
Because I honestly, I have not looked at that once.
Yes, we looked at this on Tuesday, I believe. They were the odds-on favorite to close out the college football playoff.
Interesting, okay.
I don't know about you, man, but I look at them right now and say they are out of the four teams, no matter who wins tonight, they are the last team I would pick to win the college football playoff now. What's your take?
No.
No?
No.
Who's the last team you would take then?
Penn State is the last team I'm taking. Regardless.
Okay.
Regardless of what happens, I'm taking Penn State. Now, the one thing I'll say about Texas here, I think that game being close by no means was an inspiring performance, right? Let's just call a spade. Arizona State's a good team. Credit to them. They played well. They played tough. It was not an inspiring performance from Texas. That being said, I think that's going to benefit them going into the next round because they're the only team now, assuming, or I don't know, I don't want to guess about this Notre Dame-Georgia game right now, if it's going to be close or not.
Sure.
But the three games that have concluded in this round, that's the only game that's been close.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I think that the next round of games is going to be close almost no matter who plays who. I think getting a close game in the playoff out of their system already, getting an overtime
that's
game
a good point. The
out
battle
of their system already is going to benefit them in the next close game. So by no means do I think Texas is done. I still think they have as good a chance as anyone. I'm not super confident in them because of that performance. But I think with a really good week of practice and resetting, I have no reason to believe that they should be underdogs going forward, if that makes sense. I think they can regroup and reestablish themselves as the top team in this playoff.
I'm pulling it up. The line's got to be up already, by the way, because I imagine they're going to be underdogs against Ohio State.
Ohio State is now, I saw Ohio State was plus 125 to win the whole thing at halftime of yesterday's game.
That is wild.
The books went crazy on them during the first half.
I'm trying to see. All right, college football playoff. Do we have the line out? Yeah, Ohio State guesses. So do you have any guesses?
To win the whole thing?
No, against Texas next week.
Oh, is that guaranteed? Is that the matchup?
Yeah,
Ohio
it's
State,
already,
Texas?
yeah.
Ohio State is going to be minus 220.
minus 230. They're minus 6.5 point
Dude, I
favorites.
should be a lines man.
There you go. That was
really
not
good.
bad.
I'm really good.
Ski-Doo Baskin, any relation to
So
Sister Jean? I have no idea what you're saying, Ski-Doo, but I will always talk Sister Jean, so please elaborate. Go ahead, though, what you're saying?
I didn't know that. So yeah, in that event, I'm not saying they're going to win the game, but just based off of those odds, I mean, you're giving Texas about a 30% chance of winning. That's basically what Vegas is saying.
Okay.
So in that regard, I'm all over Texas.
Yeah, we'll discuss that game next week. I can't decide yet.
Yeah, that's all I'll say.
I can't decide yet because I'll be honest, hand up, I am now 0-2 in the college football playoff.
Oh, dude,
had no bet on Arizona State yesterday, but I had Oregon yesterday. I had Boise State.
I think I'm 1-6.
You're 1-6?
I think I'm 1-6.
Jeez, Pete.
Like,
I mean, I think I'm actually.
I'm like 2-5.
I think I'm 2-3, but 2 losses in this round, and I might make it a third tonight.
I was right about.
Can you get the kicker video up? This cracked me up. I don't know if you saw this. So, what's his name? Bert Auburn?
Bert Auburn, yes.
Bert Auburn, who has made some huge kicks in his career. This was yesterday before I think this was the regulation kick.
This was before the second one.
Before the second kick in regulation to win the game, right? The one that doinked. Roll the tape, Benjamin.
Skadoop.
Arizona State equipment managers. Let's go, baby. Look at this. Let's watch it again. They know what they're doing, I think. They look at him so quickly like, was I not supposed to do that?
Oh, my bad. I just passed you.
And then one more
I'm
time.
Gonna stop.
One more time. Look at this. Look at Bert Auburn's reaction. The kicker's reaction. Just like you're bleeping kidding me.
No, look at his left arm shake out of anger. I want everyone to watch his left arm because he doesn't know what to do with himself.
That is awesome. Get these girls some NIL money because I think they had something to do with forcing overtime.
Cam Scatabo slid him a 20. He was like,
come on now.
Walk right in front of Auburn. Oh,
that's brilliant. That was by design.
Can we acknowledge something real quick? I want to shout out Steve Sarkisian.
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught this yesterday during the game.
Him talking with the kicker?
Yeah, the moment of him talking with the kicker.
Dude, yes.
Now, look,
you're good.
Obviously, he knew he was on camera. Right?
Yeah, so it's like the coaches of the Little League World Series when they're mic'd up. All right, boys, I'm so proud of you. In the regionals, they're yelling at him, if you don't throw the strike, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
I'm taking that with a grain of salt. I really am. But I did honestly, I did think that was a nice moment. I thought that was cool.
And you know what else that was?
I thought on the big stage because the one thing I will say about that is the smiles there weren't forced. You can tell.
I agree.
Those were genuine smiles.
That was a fun moment.
You could just imagine Sarkisian saying to him, "No, obviously it didn't work out." Dude, you're about to hit the kick to send us to the semis. Like that's what he's saying.
Dude.
You know, it's like it's a power manifestation. You're about to be a legend. You're about to get laid when you get back on campus tonight. Like that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna be the man. Like Bert, everyone's gonna be chanting, Auburn, Auburn, Auburn. And obviously that did not work out. But the genuine, he was probably like, dude, girls who have never even looked at you before are gonna think you're Channing Tatum tonight. And that's what made him smile ear to ear.
You know what else that was to me? I'm so happy you brought this up. For if Auburn misses that kick, and if Texas somehow loses this game, and Sarkisian goes home and people are saying, you couldn't beat Arizona State, oh my goodness, he's going to be on the hot seat. That Sarkisian's going to say, I did my job. Go watch it. What do you want me to do? I can't kick the football for us. Look, what else do you want me to do right there?
Get ready to learn Dutch, Auburn.
I love it. I love it, man. That was gold, man. I'm happy you brought that up.
I did just want to say, shout out to Sark for keeping a good temperament in a key moment. I think that's a solid representative.
It's a great game, man. That was one of the best games I've ever seen. Maybe the second best college football playoff game I can remember. I thought Alabama-Michigan last year was just all time.
Yeah, I mean the TCU, the TCU was it TCU Michigan?
The
Quentin Johnson game.
I know what you're talking about.
New Year's Eve.
TCU Ohio State.
Yeah, I was really drunk, so I don't recall all the game.
No, because the TCU got crushed. No, TCU Michigan. You're right. TCU Michigan because
Quentin
then they
Johnson
got crushed.
Catches the drag and then goes over the sideline.
Good call. Yeah, I mean, look, as much as we bash college football playoff, they have given us a few good games.
It's either been an unbelievable game or a game that's not even worth watching. Which is a good segue.
Good segue. Let's just get this out of the way. Wow, Ohio State. It should have been 41-21 was surprising when I saw the final score. Should have been 56-14, to be honest with you. 56-7. That was one of the worst games I've ever seen in my entire life. I don't want to spend too much time on this game. My take on what happened in this game is what you saw men against boys, but not on the football field. I think it was men against boys in the coaching box. And I hate saying this because we've done a lot of Ryan Day slander. I can't stand Ryan Day either, but ultimately, Chip Kelly and Ryan Day are probably making around 7, 8, 9 million to combined. Oregon?
Oh, more.
More?
Combined?
I mean,
combined, probably closer to 15.
Those two guys flex their muscles. And I think when we look back on the season, we're going to say the best thing that happened to Ohio State was losing to Michigan, which sounds crazy to say. But this has lit a fire under this Ohio State team. They've gotten dragged through the media. We've had Connie been dragging them. Ohio State is on a mission right now, and that was a statement game. I picked Oregon hand up. I feel like a dunce today. I took Oregon to win the college football playoff championship. It was not even close. I think I got to credit the coaching right there because look, I think the world of Dylan Gabriel. I think the world of Oregon. That was no contest.
Yeah, here's what I'll say. I'm gonna make this quick because this game really
make it quick.
Really pissed me off. First off, credit to Ohio State. I hate Ohio State.
You're right.
I'm a certified Ohio State hater. Yep. I'm on the record for it. All of my friends went to Ohio State. I do not like when people I know are happier than me.
Fair enough.
That's just the God's honest truth. I don't want my friends to be happy about college football if I can't be happy.
There you
about
go.
college
Very
football.
supportive guy.
Yeah. So credit to Ohio State. It was an unbelievable game. Chip Kelly called an unbelievable game. It was unbelievable. It was like watching Chip Kelly 10 years ago calling plays
for Oregon.
Where it's just 2-play drive, 3-play drive, 1-play drive. Also, Jeremiah Smith is the single best prospect I've ever seen in my entire life. That's the second thing. The third thing is
more than the guy on Alabama. Why can't I remember Ryan Williams?
Yes, better than
I like them both.
I like them
go
both.
ahead.
I like them both.
That draft in
but
2-3 years.
Jeremiah Smith would be the first overall pick in this year's draft. And
this is the second time you said that, actually, now that I think about it.
And he's not eligible until 2027.
Yeah.
So the kid's a freak. That Oregon loss, I've been saying for, I don't know, how long ago was the Ohio State-Michigan game? Maybe, let's just say a month.
3 weeks, 4 weeks?
3 weeks.
Yeah,
let's just say, I'm just going to say a month for conversation's sake, even though I know it's not a month. For a month, I've been saying that is the worst loss I've seen. Or that loss from Oregon is the worst loss I've ever seen.
Really?
That loss from Oregon is worse than the Ohio State loss to Michigan.
What about the TCU loss to Georgia in the national championship?
Worse.
It's like 56-7, to your point.
Worse.
All right, if you say so.
That loss was so unbelievably pathetic in each and every way. Is there a single thing they did correctly in that game?
No. 1 for 2. Like, you know what I don't understand?
A single thing. I want to hear one thing they did well.
I didn't understand why they were punting in the third quarter.
I want to know, chat, if anyone can seriously come up with one thing that Oregon executed at least a mediocre level yesterday, let me know.
Maybe they ate breakfast.
What in God's name did they practice? What did they practice?
I know what Dylan Gabriel was practicing.
What do you do for 3 weeks? They hadn't played in 3 weeks. What did they do? They went undefeated. They were closer to home. They had to travel less. They have a 40-year-old quarterback. Their average wide receiver is 30, going in the second round of the draft this year. They've got one of the best defensive tackles in all of college football. They have one of the best secondaries in college football. They went 13-0. They beat Ohio State already. And they didn't even look like they belonged. Syracuse would have beaten them yesterday. Fran Brown would have gotten washed if Syracuse played in the Rose Bowl yesterday. And that is pathetic. Quack, quack, quack. The Ducks suck.
There you go. I got nothing else to add, man. You put it up. You wrapped that up very nicely. We don't need to spend more time on that terrible game.
What a waste of time.
I mean, look, we gave the College Football Playoff Committee a lot of crap, and I was like, oh, finally, a good game. We got a good matchup.
Dude, that is such a good point because I legitimately have not thought about this, and this is the last thing I'll say about this game. No one should complain about the teams that made it into the College Football Playoff anymore. Nope. Because Ohio State just beat Tennessee and Oregon by what, a combined 55 points.
Alabama lost to Michigan in a meaningless bowl, but like it's South Carolina lost to their bowl.
To Illinois. Lenora Sellers played.
Yep.
That was the number 1 team in the country, and they got throttled.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Game tonight.
If anyone to say is that this playoff was bad because Illinois or Indiana got beat, and SMU got beat, and Boise State got beat. Well, literally the one undefeated team just got absolutely embarrassed. So that whole argument, the CFP is thanking their lucky stars right now because they just got bailed out so hard by the incompetence that is Oregon.
Real quick, game tonight, Aaron. We talked about it yesterday, so don't want to spend too much time, but what's your pick on the game tonight?
I've got Notre Dame.
Notre Dame?
Yeah.
All right, it's because your brother goes to Georgia, and you can't pick Georgia.
One, Jeffrey can't have a national championship if I can't have one.
Yep. So take it with a grain of salt.
Two, Riley Leonard. Riley Leonard's going to do this damn thing.
Oh, man, you missed the Gunnar Stockton hype train yesterday.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I'll send it to you later.
Well,
just know his grandpa died for UGA.
Our new friend Patty is going to be here tomorrow morning, I know, for Talkin Slab. So that's either going to be a great show with him talking dogs or not.
Is he a Georgia fan?
Huge Georgia fan.
Oh, boy. So. Georgia and Dolphins fans. That's going to be a very interesting one tomorrow morning with all that to discuss. Well, on that note,
tease there.
On that note, put a pin in college football playoff. We'll see what happens tonight. Georgia and Notre Dame. I'm on Georgia. He's on Notre Dame. I know a lot of people are on Notre Dame. But regardless, hopefully, I just want a good game. I've already lost too much money. I don't know how much money I can be betting on this one, Aaron. But let's look over ahead to the NFL. We've got a big weekend. Actually, it's not that big of a weekend, to be honest with you. There's really only like 3.5 games that matter. But being a Birds fan, wearing the sweatshirt today. News came out yesterday, officially, sort of official. It's not official till it comes out. Saquon Barkley will be resting. Nick Sirianni said the Eagles will be resting their starters. I take that means you're agreeing with the decision by Sirianni.
Thank God.
Why do you care? You don't care.
I don't care. I like it when people do make the correct decision. I'm not a fan of stupidity.
Yep.
Not a fan of stupidity. I don't tolerate stupidity.
We're no fun, man. It's no fun, but it's the right thing to do.
It's no fun. I'm sorry. I legitimately am. I'm sorry to Saquon.
I'm with you.
I'm sorry to the people that want to watch. To Eagles fans who would like their guy to hold the record. To you know what? I'm not saying it wouldn't be cool. It would be cool. Anyone who's complaining, especially as an Eagle fan,
yes,
shut the hell up. Just shut the hell up.
If you're complaining as a non-Eagles fan, I think you're fair. I'll be honest. It would be so cool to see a guy break a rushing record that stood for this long.
You have a valid reasoning for the complaint, but you have to be able to understand the rational reasoning behind Sirianni's decision. Like, you can't. You can complain if you want to. You complain about anything, but it's not it's not a reasonable thing to complain about. It's absolutely the right decision, especially for the position that gets hit maybe the most out of anyone.
And watching this Eagles team all year, dude, like, you saw Jalen Hurts go out. Kenny Pickett looked pretty good. If Saquon Barkley goes out, I think it really ruins the offense.
As healthy as humanly possible.
So,
also, the other thing I want to say about that real quick is that Saquon's played 16 games.
Yeah. He's already played.
So he's gotten his 16. I think
he's got 16. He got his 2,000 yards in 16. I think that's
these records
massive.
Over time, all these records, all these 16-game records, probably over the next 10 years or so, are going to be broken.
Yep.
The receiving record's going to get broken. The passing yard record, the rushing record, the touchdown record are going to get broken probably in the next 10 years, if I had to guess, due to the expanded schedule. And they're probably in the next 10 years, frankly, going to add an 18th game as well, if I had to guess.
Dude, stop. I don't even want to talk about it. But yes, they probably will.
Probably will. He had a crack. He had a great season. He got 2,000 yards. And the Eagles' one and only goal with the current team they have should be the Super Bowl.
100%.
And if everything that you do is not geared toward winning the Super Bowl, then you're not doing your job correctly.
Here's the thing, though, Aaron. You are, let's say you wake up tomorrow, you're Saquon Barkley, and you have an opportunity to go for that rushing record. If I'm Saquon Barkley, how can you not be like, Coach, I understand, right? But I have a chance to have the single-season NFL rushing record. It's not like this is some BS kind of like Donnell Pumphrey Division I rushing record over 4 years at San Diego State. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. This is the NFL.
Genty yesterday, they were trying to give Genty the record in the last minute. They were trying to get Genty. He needed 26 more yards. They were trying to get him the record.
I didn't even notice that.
They were running the ball down 17 with 30 seconds left.
I was wondering what was up with that. I didn't even notice.
They were trying to get him the record.
So, there's a human element. And Ben, if you don't mind, we got the clip up. They asked Saquon Barkley about this pretty much. And I just think it was very funny listening to Saquon. Here's the clip here, because I felt like we can all relate to this.
Saquon's all class.
I was just about to say, Saquon Barkley is just one of the best people ever because it's so obvious in that response. If it was up to him, he would be playing on Sunday.
He's a competitor.
And it's funny because he said, Sunday the game ends, right? He's thinking I got the 2,000 yard, and he even admits, I slept on it, and after sleeping on it, I was like, F yeah, I want to play. Yeah. That's pretty much what he was saying.
As he should. If you have a heartbeat, you should want to, but it's Nick Sirianni's job to protect the 25-year-old from making that decision. Because here's the thing. Yeah, you might only get one chance to break this record, and that's totally true. But at the same time, Saquon only might ever get one chance to win a Super Bowl.
Bingo.
So which one do you want more?
In 20 years, that record's going to be broken again by someone else. Anyway. 20 years from now, if you win a Super Bowl, no one's taking that away from you. Your legacy, because, look, there's some running backs that I think you can just hop aboard, win a Super Bowl, be a part of it. Saquon Barkley would be the driving factor, in my opinion, to an Eagles Super Bowl. And I feel like, to me, that's the greatest legacy there is.
If the Eagles were to, let's just say the Eagles were to play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, I'm just throwing out a random hypothetical, and you'll see why in a second. Saquon Barkley would probably be, behind Patrick Mahomes, the second odds-on favorite to win Super Bowl MVP. If the Eagles, I almost said the Phillies, if the Eagles make the Super Bowl, they're going to make it on the back of Saquon Barkley. Yeah. And if they win the Super Bowl, that game is going to be won on the back of Saquon Barkley. Having him play this game makes absolutely no sense. Running backs get hurt all the time. Running back shelf lives are shorter than anyone else's in the league. Saquon might not be that good next year. He might get hurt next year. He might quit football to become a tap dancer. I don't know.
Where'd you pull that one from?
I don't know. But anything can happen. So if you're Sirianni, that Saquon record helps Saquon. But think about how many people win. I mean, think about the state of Pennsylvania wins if they win the damn Super Bowl. So, yeah. Am I upset? Yeah, as a Jet fan, I want to see the guy break the record.
Yeah, come on. It's cool.
It's cool.
Yeah.
But it's really not even something that should be conversated about because it is the objectively correct decision.
All right, so kind of like on that note, I'm glad we're on the same page there. Saquon Barkley resting makes absolute sense. But there's another team in the NFL that has nothing to play for this upcoming week, and they are playing their starters. Have you seen this?
I haven't.
The Houston Texans. DeMeco Ryans says they are going to play their starters. They are, from my understanding, they are locked into that 4 seed. They are the lowest. They have the worst record of any division winner.
I'm not arguing right now. I'm just trying to think.
Yeah, I think they have the lowest record of any division winner. They don't have any tiebreakers.
What's who's winning the AFC North right now?
It would be the Ravens, I want to say.
Are they 11? Do they have 11 wins yet?
I think they've got 10 wins, but I think, one of those teams is going to have 11 wins. And they will know. The Texans will know going into their game on Sunday.
They should be the 4 seed.
Right.
I'm just trying to think if they would get to the 3. Because of the winner of the AFC North could win with 10 wins as well.
Long story short, the Texans really don't have much to play for, if anything at all.
Sorry, yes.
DeMeco Ryans has said, I'm going to play my starters this weekend. Do you think this is foolish, or do you think this is a different kind of case for the Texans?
This is a totally different thing. It's a totally different thing for multiple reasons. One, your quarterback is not playing well. They need to get him in rhythm. It's absolutely essential that they get Stroud in rhythm going into that game. Because right now, this is the least in rhythm I think he's been probably since he got to the NFL. This last 6 to 7 weeks. They're working with new receivers every week as well. It seems like there's a new part of that receiving core.
These guys I've never heard of also.
I feel bad. I legitimately feel bad. They're a very talented team. They should be a legit contender in the AFC, and they're not. Just call a spade a spade. They're not a contender in the AFC anymore.
I agree. Yeah.
But if you're DeMeco Ryans, you need to get some rhythm going in terms of Stroud and Nico Collins. Get the run game going a bit again because Mixon has not been good in recent weeks and he had a great start to the season. That being said, I'm going to call it early because honestly, I didn't know this. I didn't know they were playing their starters. I didn't know that they didn't need to. But even just learning this, I'm going to assume that they're only going to play their guys in the first half.
I was wondering that because they're playing the Titans, right? And it's a 50-50 because one, you can get into a good rhythm. You're playing a team like the Titans who they have nothing to play for and they're garbage. I mean, the Titans are absolutely terrible. Apologies to any Titans fans out there. But what are you really going to glean from this? I think big whoop, we scored 17 points and a half against the Titans. Now let's go into the playoffs and play the Steelers or something like that.
I think you're probably looking at maybe even less than a half. Almost treat it like a preseason game. You give Stroud is going to run maybe 2 scripted drives, perhaps with the first team offense. Maybe this is probably something I would do, frankly. I'd probably run 2 scripted drives with Stroud in the offense. and then I'd probably move it to the backups. I would just want Stroud to be running confidence builders, a bunch of screen passes, short, quick passes, RPOs. Find some rhythm with the offense. Get your confidence up. Get the offensive line's confidence up. Don't allow any sacks. Don't let Stroud get hit, and then get him out of the game.
So to put a bow on this, I think the Bills, Sean McDermott has been a little bit cheeky about what he's going to do. There is precedent for what McDermott's done in the past. He puts the starters out for 1 series, 2 series, kind of exactly what you're saying, and then he pulls them back. That's not what I want to talk about, though. Before, this will be our last show together before the NFL season, regular season ends. Get on the record. MVP vote. They call you up all of a sudden, the NFL Association, whatever it is, says, Aaron, we heard you talking about your futon yesterday. We love you, man. We think you should get a vote for MVP.
It's an honor.
Who are you giving your vote for this season?
Can I have 2 answers?
No. What?
Well, can I have no, because I have an answer if one thing happens. All right, I'm giving 2 answers. If the Bengals make the playoffs, which won't happen because they need multiple things to happen, it's Burrow.
My man!
That's an easy one.
Yes!
It's not even close. He should win it regardless, but he won't.
I love it. Thank you.
So that's what I'm saying about that. That being said, in the real person world I live in,
I know.
Josh Allen's going to win the MVP.
See, look, and that's why I asked if you, Aaron, who eats dry Cheerios, or if me, Josh, who just has 1 Taco Bell value menu thing a day, got a vote on MVP, I would be using my vote on Joe Burrow. Because I think as far as teams go, and as far as just look at his numbers, man. I haven't seen a quarterback numbers like this since prime Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Even Patrick Mahomes, his numbers look fantastic.
Touchdown to interception
42-8. I believe it's 42-8.
I mean, the one thing I will say about that is that Lamar's touchdown to interception is actually better than Burrow's just because he has less picks.
But it doesn't look the same.
No, it's not the same. It's not
42,
the same.
you see 42
and also just the eye test of the passes. I mean, one is throwing one-on-one go balls to Chase and Higgins, goal line fades. The other ones, RPOs, slants. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
One team is legit contenders for the Super Bowl, the other isn't. So let me just make that.
If the Bengals make the playoffs, I would consider them legit contenders.
If the Bengals, I'm just saying that I give the Bengals because of the Jets. If the Jets were not involved in the Bengals equation, I'd give them a better chance. The fact of the matter is Joe Burrow and the Bengals' playoff existence most likely depends on the Jets this week. The Jets aren't winning.
I don't know about that, my friend.
I know.
I don't know about that.
We could talk about that, but the Jets are not going to win that football game.
No, you don't think so?
No.
Come on, you don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to do one last stick it to Woody, one last dance, kind of just salvage kind of a bad season? I'm
not going to act like I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. The only thing is that I think the Dolphins have a little too much to play for.
I know.
To allow that to happen. I don't want it to happen. I don't want the Jets to win.
I know, it makes sense because you're a real fan. You understand how it works.
I want to be top 5.
I would want the Jets to win. I just think it would make so much more fun.
The only circumstance where I want the Jets to win
is if Jordan Travis plays.
Starts.
I don't think you're going to get that. It would be interesting.
I won't. That's the only circumstance. I'm saying that now, though.
All right, Aaron. I'm going to save that for tomorrow. We got Patty on the show tomorrow. He is a Dolphins fan, so I would love to hear what he has to say about Snoop Huntley, putting the hopes of the season on him, who had a fantastic game last week. How does this happen
every year also?
What?
Can I just ask how Tyler Huntley is playing for a playoff berth in Week 18 for the 3rd consecutive year?
You can't say he hasn't been here before. It's absolutely crazy.
It's remarkable. You do not sign this guy. Your quarterback will not play Week 18.
Who was it last year?
Lamar.
Okay.
He's been Lamar's backup the last 4 years.
2 years.
Lamar hasn't finished a game in forever, or finished a season in forever.
It's crazy, man. Snoop Huntley, who's Pro Bowler. Snoop Huntley right there. One of the worst Pro Bowl selections of all time.
It's like Omar Infante going to the
All-Star
game for the
that's a great
2016
name.
Royals.
Hilarious. All right, let's get to basketball here before we're out. Basketball. Give me the ball because I'm gonna dunk it. Got a hypothetical for you, and it's not a hypothetical because I've seen some chatter about this. I'm not totally pulling this out of my rear end.
I'm really glad I get to answer this
question.
There
we go, man.
I'm happy I get to answer this.
We do not talk basketball on the show because, quite frankly, it stinks. We're not going to talk basketball until probably February 20th, really, to get fully into this.
On Talkin Slab.
That's what I'm talking about. But as we get deeper into the season, you start seeing rumors, you start seeing some teams like the New Orleans Pelicans, for example, be absolute dumpster fires. And there is a guy who I think is near and dear to a lot of these people on this app specifically, Zion Williamson. one of the biggest prospects, one of the biggest overall hype trains in general. I remember at Duke, it's like they play a game at 8:30. They'll have cameras like, oh, we're at Zion at In-N-Out Burger at 1 p.m. Look at him eating this burger. Tune in to watch Duke tonight.
In his calculus class right now.
Right. It's like, whoa, look at Zion use his calculator. It's ridiculous.
Zion's tutor just got him a 98 on his math quiz.
Exactly. It's just like, and I like Zion, man. I think he's a great player, but it's just, it's not working out. I think we have to wonder if he is becoming one of the biggest busts in the modern era. And I think obviously you'd be like, oh, Anthony Bennett, right, is like the biggest bust. Oh, Ben Simmons. Look, these guys are huge busts, but I don't think any of them had quite the hype as Zion Williamson.
Zion's the weirdest one I've ever seen because when he plays, he's so good.
Yes.
So it's so strange because the definition of bust, I feel like, changes based off of the narrative at the time, like who we want to make the biggest bust. Mm-hmm. And right now, everyone wants to make Zion a bust. And in terms of just value, X's and O's, you can't argue that he's not a bust because he's a sunk cost. The resources, the time, the effort, everything that's been put into Zion Williamson has not only lost the Pelicans money, it's lost them games, it's lost them fans. So, objectively, yes. It's an objective yes. Mm-hmm. The interesting thing that we'll never know the answer to is how much of it is his fault. Because
I think a good amount.
I think a good amount too. And that really pisses me off. Because that guy had every natural talent in the book. And the question to me is how much of it, and like I said, we'll never know. And I think it's all speculation. I think a decent part of it is him. But, maybe his body just couldn't keep up with what his physical body could not keep up with what he was athletically capable of.
But I mean, that's on him because I think he's not doing his physical body any favors.
I think it's on the training staff. I think it's on just everyone in his circle. I think the Pelicans deserve a lot of blame because they can't get him. How do you not get him to lose? So how do these are the smartest. The amount of allocated resources that go to the nutrition, the training, the recovery of these guys, that they cannot get this right. To me, it's kind of like an NFL team failing their quarterback by not putting a proper offensive line and play caller around him.
Andrew Luck?
Did not put the infrastructure around Zion to succeed.
All right. So
that being said, he is also extremely complicit.
Well,
because if this guy spent less time arguing with adult actresses on Twitter and more time eating cabbage and salads, he'd probably be on an NBA court right now.
What do you know about eating cabbage and salads, Aaron?
I know that if I needed to play in an NBA game, I'd be ready to lace him up in 10 minutes. That's what I know.
Fair enough. So having said all that, right? Like you know what I think about when you're talking about this? Joel Embiid, who, listen, a lot of similar complaints, but I think it's safe to say Embiid is at least better than Zion Williamson at this point. When Embiid first came into the league, he had the same issues. But after years and years, it took him 2 years of injuries and surgery, and he had to miss a lot of time, put on a ton of weight. He was drinking Shirley Temples by the pitcher. I remember that was one of my favorite headlines ever. But he was able to get on the court. And look, Embiid takes a lot of flack, but I think it's nothing compared to what we're seeing with Zion Williamson.
It's not even a debate.
Having said all of this, Aaron, you mentioned it. Pelicans have failed him. He's only been a part of one team in his career in the NBA. If you are a team, maybe a team that's middling, a team that is nothing to lose, needs something to kind of build around, would you make a move to trade for Zion Williamson? Because he's been on the market, and I did some research here. This is what the parent market is, the going rate for Zion Williamson. If they do move him, the Pelicans can acquire expiring contracts and perhaps, the word to use is perhaps, a future first-round pick.
Yeah, I don't buy that. I think his price is higher.
Okay.
So that's the first
thing.
This
is ESPN, by the way. This isn't like absolutely this isn't Joe Schmo or like some fan-sided blog.
I'm just saying I think he costs more. I think at his age, his value is still higher than that probably. But I had a really interesting thought when I saw this rundown yesterday.
Okay.
When you put this on here. And I don't think it's a good thing necessarily for the Knicks. But I want to see this happen because I think it'd be really cool.
How are you? Let's see how you tie this to the Knicks.
It's not really tied to the Knicks.
All right.
Zion to Houston.
Zion to Houston would be awesome. I mean, here's the only problem with that is the fit with Sengun. I feel like those two together on the court would be tough.
Well, so here's the thing.
You got to
I
include
want Zion
Sengun
off the bench.
What? Nah, you can't do that.
I want Zion. Just
Wait, hold on. Yeah, no, let me hear you out.
22 minutes a game off the bench of your best Zion. Zion, the way he scored when he was healthy.
You see what Mally just said?
I didn't.
I think Mally's right. Real quick. We got a couple people weighing in. We got Kay Garrett saying, as long as Zion is in New Orleans, he will never have a good diet, unfortunately. He needs to get to L.A. Garrett, are you saying that just from like a regionality standpoint, like too many po' boy sandwiches and jambalaya? Like just the food in New Orleans is just like, he needs to get into those, the wheatgrass smoothies in LA, Kate Garrett? If so, that's hilarious. And I kind of don't disagree. And then the large is saying, no, yeah, that is what he's saying. No one is healthy in New Orleans. And then Mally says he's going to tear up all you can eat gentlemen's club, the Lou Williams, James Harden style.
He's already known to spend his time.
That is a good point. Houston might be a little dangerous from a regionality standpoint, but from a team standpoint,
I didn't think that point through. I'm looking purely X's and O's here. I did not factor in the
the temptations.
Yeah, the temptations
over there in Houston,
of lovely Houston.
They got James Harden. They have the Harden jersey, both number one. No, Harden 11, Williamson 1, next to each other in the gentlemen's club. Yep. My word.
Nah, the reason I say that I don't.
Put him to Utah, K. Garrett.
Zion, the way he scored.
Yeah, Mally.
Because Zion, when he was good, didn't carry a huge load in terms of minutes anyway. Like, he was playing 28 to 30 minutes a game.
Yeah.
22 minutes of Zion is probably about 18 points.
The thing is, if I'm a team, by the way, like let me just insert myself here. If I'm a team that, like, isn't, like, if I'm the Knicks, the Sixers, the Celtics, hell no. If I'm a team like the Rockets, the Golden State Warriors. Now, it might not work this season, but looking forward to the future, that could be a fun investment.
I like that.
I'm thinking about, like, when Zion's healthy, this guy's a fantastic player. Like, there's no doubt about that.
Top 20 in the NBA.
He's just, like, he's electric, man. If I'm a team that really,
he's
like...
efficient, too.
Brooklyn Nets. I'm the Brooklyn Nets. I'm trading for Zion Williamson.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I think he should. I think the move probably at his current... Because he's not 19 anymore. Now he's like 25, I think, 26 maybe.
But he doesn't, and it's funny to say, like, I don't think, there's not a lot of miles on those legs. Not that I think he's a spry chicken. I just think so much of the taxation on his body is self-imposed. Got to get him to a team that he can get some run on.
I don't know. The more I think about this Rockets thing, and really the more I think about 18 minutes a game, the more I think about 18 minutes a game of Zion, the happier I get. Because
what's the point? You're going to give him a first-round pick for 18 minutes a game?
It's important.
Now, are you saying 18 minutes a game like this season, and then you slowly ramp it up?
Yeah, I mean, if he's able to hold up, yeah, I mean, give him 25 next year. I don't know.
I'm gonna have to do some research on the old card ladder today. Maybe I can make this like a full segment and be like, let's buy up Zion cards.
Where do we need Zion to get traded to make his card the most
valuable? No, for real,
because that would be the Knicks.
Oh, dude, I think that would be the exact opposite to him. Zion in New York, the big pong, big Zion.
I'm just saying for his card value would be insane.
God, I think you'd absolutely get torched out of there. About to become Cav Shaq if he stays in New Orleans. Ouch! When you found out your goat washed. Aaron, it is 8:30. We are just about out of here. You got any more NBA stuff you wanted to get to? I know I never give anyone a chance to talk basketball. So Zion, I just saw the Zion news, and I love Zion as a player personally. So I want to see him out of New Orleans. I want to see him, with a better opportunity.
If you don't like watching Zion play, you don't like basketball.
So. Like he pissed me off at Duke because of all the attention given towards him. But I was always like, hell of a ball player.
He's so fun to watch.
But you got anything in the NBA you wanted to kind of like wrap up or throw out there before we're done today?
My Knicks are on a 9-game win streak.
They're on a 9-game win streak?
Now, granted, they haven't played anyone who belongs in the NBA, but watch out.
Watch out for the New York Knicks.
I legitimately think I've removed my bias. They are the best team in the NBA. I'm just saying.
Oh my God. I still won't watch the NBA, and based on that, I will stay not watching the NBA if the New York Knicks are that good.
Big Purr needs to be in the MVP conversation.
Mally says, more scared of a ladybug than I ever will be of the New York Knicks. Yeah, me too. I think that's the other nickname for Cat, the ladybug.
Big Purr or the ladybug, yeah.
I like them both. Knicks need a bench badly. The starters playing 40+ a night, going to cost them in April. Don't get them going on this. Don't get them going on this.
The bench will be back. You're not wrong.
All right, let's get out of here with a little top 5, Aaron. So based on yesterday's game, my top 5, and I think this is a fun one for me. I've been waiting to get some of these off my chest. Targeting is a very flawed rule, but I don't think it's close to the worst rule in sports. Yep. So today I'm going to give out my top 5 worst rules in all of sports. And for the listeners in the chat, please, if you got a rule that you really hate, I would love to hear it. I love getting worked up about rules. Number 5 worst rule, I think, in sports is the fact that if your knees go down in college football, you're just considered down immediately. I've always just accepted it also. You know, I remember being 10 and my mom being like, why is he down? And I'm like, that's just how it is, Mom. It's so stupid. Why is that the way it is? I just really don't like that rule. There's nothing personal. I don't have really big bone to pick with anything specific.
It's just dumb.
It's just dumb.
I agree.
The 1 foot in bounds in college, that I can live with. But why if you just go down, the play's over? I feel like it takes some excitement out of the game. I don't think it really protects any player safety. Stupid. Number 4, in NBA and college basketball, the fact that you can review things in the last 2 minutes of each half. It's twofold stupid. 1, the last 2 minutes of each game become miserable because it's anything that's closer, well, we can review it, so let's go look at the monitor for 2 minutes, Jim. And it's just there's so much excitement of games. The last 10 seconds ending up being 5 minutes totally takes the life out of ball games. And then it's why don't you just review everything at a certain point here? Why wait to the last 2 minutes? I get it. Okay, last 2 minutes are the most important. But it just, unless your team benefits from it, no. I'm done, Mally. The less replay, the better, honestly. And the last 2 minutes thing, it just takes forever. Number 3, shout out Ruben Tejada, not being able to slide into second base dirty anymore. That was one of the best parts of baseball.
You're just saying that because you're a Chase Utley guy.
Yes, damn right I'm a Chase Utley guy, and I'm also a baseball guy, Aaron. What happened to the beautiful game I love when guys can just blow each other over going to second base? I'm not saying we got to kill each other, but this little contact sport never hurt anybody.
I don't mind a good slide.
Sliding into hard at second.
Keep it clean.
Keep it clean and keep it dirty. Go spikes up, raise the arms. Dude, that was my favorite thing about playing baseball as a kid also. Trying to, slide into second. No one ever called me for it either because that's how you played the game the right way. Tris Speaker's rolling over in his grave.
Ty Cobb is pissed.
Stan Musial is pissed, man. That's baseball right there. Blowing up the second baseman, breaking up a double play.
Ty Cobb is not happy.
Number 2, another replay review. This is specific for the NBA. Reviewing flagrants. Good Lord. You get any common foul, we're going to the monitor. We're going to see if we're going to upgrade a common foul to a flagrant 1.
Yep.
And then they just put on the headsets, and the 2 announcers jabber back and forth as they watch the same play in slow motion over again. Oh, you see where he raises his elbow there? I think by the rule, that's got to be... Shut up!
I agree.
If you watch anything in slow motion 1,000 times, it's going to look way worse.
You see the wrinkles of the face.
Yeah! The spit kind of comes out of his mouth. It's dude, his elbow went up because he was getting a rebound, and then they always call it a flagrant.
Yeah, I agree. The NBA's gotten soft.
It is absolutely terrible, and Mally nailed it. That's the number 1 worst rule in all of sports. Shout out Buster Posey. God damn you, Buster Posey. Because this
You
was
and your weak knees.
Come on now. Not that I want anyone to tear their ACL, but one guy gets hurt, and you got to change the whole game for everyone. The fact you can't block the plate as a catcher in baseball is an absolute disgrace to the sport. Because then I'm over here, it's a playoff game. Phillies Mets, this actually happened. And I remember it being so it's an intense playoff game. You got to stop the game to review if the catcher blocked the plate.
Yeah, it's a joke.
The catcher should be able to block the plate, and you should be able to run the catcher over.
I agree.
It's plain and simple. The catcher wears equipment, and even still, it happens I don't know, once every 2 months. Yeah, once every 2 weeks in the entire MLB.
I agree.
That's such a shame, Mally, that your son is growing up in a world where he's like, what? They used to be able to blow over the catcher? Nah. That's the worst rule. Austin Barnes would die. It's true.
Francisco Alvarez would live for
Francisco Alvarez.
He would just stand there like this.
Boom. He just kind of puff his chest out, and just the guy would...
Buck Showalter used to say his toes had muscles.
Oh, good Lord. I like that. That's a good one. Buck. Miss Buck.
I miss Buck until Carlos Mendoza came.
I miss Buck as a... Scatabo would be a catcher.
Scatabo would be
just the unit over there.
Great MLB catcher.
But there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll add 2 to that real quick.
Okay, yeah.
First one, in the NFL, the play clock going down to 0 and them getting that extra half second. Mike Tirico spoke about that the other day, and he's totally right.
I agree.
The quarter ends dead on 0, the game ends dead on 0. Why isn't the play clock
I don't
right
know
on 0?
I don't know
one.
either.
The second, Why is there like a half a foot difference between the 3-point line in college and the NBA?
Who is that for? You know what I mean?
What the hell is that about?
I don't know.
That's like having like that's if you had high school baseball and instead of the bases being 90 feet away, you made them like 85.
It's like, for what reason? What is that?
And you made the mound 57. Like, it's like 95% of what the actual 3-point line is. Just make it the whole damn thing.
So then in that note, do you want to see 2 feet in bounds for college football? Because I feel like that's more egregious. What about wood bats in college baseball? It's 50-50.
Yeah.
You know what? I wouldn't mind. And
I don't
it
like
gets
that.
dicey.
I don't like that it goes back and forth. I don't like that in high school, like you're using wood in some states, and then college baseball you go to metal, and then you go back to wood. Like, just make it one or the other.
I feel like, and it would be tough to do this because you're just admitting that there's like kids and teams that are inferior. If you had like SEC schools, ACC schools use wood,
yeah, you can't
but like
do
if
that.
I know, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, if you play it like Stetson, you can use like metal. You know,
I don't know. I mean,
shout out Jacob
don't get me wrong. I like seeing Tommy White ping balls about
the Jack Caglione,
526.
the Caglione metal highlights and the wood highlights they're both pretty good.
There is something nice about that. Bing.
Yeah. See, no, there's nothing nice about that. I like the, you know,
I like both.
I'm more of a than a ping kind of guy, you know? That's going to do it for us. On that note.
End it with automatopoeia.
Yeah, there you go. What a time with you, Aaron. Good stuff today, man. Appreciate you. What do you got now? You got to hop on over and rip some cards now?
Yeah, it's time to rip some cards. We got Gilded. We got Triple Threads.
We got Gilded?
We got Gilded and Triple Threads in the store. I believe we got 21 spots left, chat. Looking forward to a great Thursday here at Suncoast. Me and Matty Ice, man.
There we go. We're ripping that. I believe Luminaries coming out tomorrow as well.
Yeah, look alive.
We'll be doing a little NFL Week 18 breakdown tomorrow, reacting to the college football playoff game tonight. Mally, Large, K. Garrett, really appreciate you guys hanging out with us this morning. And stay tuned. Tomorrow, special announcement coming about Talkin Slab, about Suncoast Sports. Just a little bit of a teaser for you. All I'm going to say is you're going to like this one, because it'll benefit you, the viewer at home. But thank you guys, and us, of course. We're gonna be having a lot more fun.
Yeah, I'm cool with it for now.
But appreciate you guys joining us. But stay tuned. If you guys missed the show, wanted to catch Aaron's futon conversation, you can go on YouTube now. We're posting some of these episodes, all these episodes on YouTube. But for now,
everything goes on YouTube.
Everything goes on YouTube now.
That's great. Now my dad doesn't have to watch.
There you go.
That's awesome, because now instead of having him in the chat, just say, "Just had my first bite of breakfast."
You go in the comments
sat down
on YouTube.
On the couch. Now we can just watch it on YouTube.
Chandi, what's up, Chandi? Good morning. Rothschild finally made the tube. He's done been on the tube, just not YouTube, my friend.
I'm on YouTube.
Yeah,
look up my broadcast journalism reel there, Chandi. Aaron Rothschild broadcast journalism.
He curses in his journalism class. It's crazy.
Nah, I didn't put that one on.
Hot mic. Oh boy. All right, on that note, let's rip some cards, man. Let's get over there. Appreciate you guys for joining us. Have a great Thursday. It's Friday Eve, baby. We'll see you tomorrow right here. Suncoast Sports.